Hi there, long time no see. Yes, that's right, your eyes do not deceive you. It is Ed with another classic traveler solo adventure of Anselm, the former scout. Last time, as you recall, Anselm and Hormoz had gone to the Navy base on Hessia Prime, trying to find out who had been sending threatening messages to the director of the scout base on the moon of Hessia Prime. They had met some of the suspects, some of the personnel here, and had found out that maybe some of them had some questionable parts of their past, and Anselm had wanted to find out exactly what was in the computer bank. So we went back later at night when most of the systems were automated. He discovered a few things. First of all, he discovered that the piece of artwork that Gabriel Copeland, the medical guy, the corpsman, had gotten for the communications officer had been broken and destroyed. Hayden Lamas, the communications officer, had found this statue, very pricey, valuable statue, broken up, and he did mutter something about Daroka, which is another person on this base, another member of personnel. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I found that out. He was also surprised to find there was a civilian on the base. Her name was Zoe Tse. She said that she had been picked up. She had been lost in the wilderness in Hessia Prime. They had brought her here. They were going to run her through some tests to see if she was okay and just send her on her way. Meanwhile, Hormoz was trying to get some sort of psychic reading on a Psionic Institute button that Anselm had found on one of the modular cutters here at the base, and he did not get any readings from that, but he did get a vision of a young lady who was there on the base who was possibly not exactly what she seemed. And when Hormoz described this person to Anselm, it turned out that the person he saw was the civilian Zoe Tse. Is Zoe everything she is presenting herself to be, or does she have some sort of nefarious purpose on the base? And is she wrapped up in the messages being sent to Director Cavalon? We shall find out, hopefully. So, believe it or not, we're only on the second of 3 days that Anselm said they would be on this base. He had talked to the director and said, hey, we'll only be here for 3 days. So Anselm has to hurry up and find some more information about who could be sending these threatening messages. So far, he has met a lot of the personnel, who are all currently suspects. Our most likely suspect so far is Gabriel Copeland, the medical officer. As you may remember, if you've watched the previous episodes, I'm using the Mythic Mystery Matrix, or method, whichever you want to call it, to go through this mystery. A mystery is a very specific thread that can only be solved and resolved by going through the mystery mythic process. And to do that, we have a list of suspects and clues that are linked to those suspects. Currently, Gabriel Copeland has the most clues connected to him with 3. All right, so Gabriel Mem has 2, and Avery Fry, a pilot, has 1, and Devin Pecan has 1. We've actually met him, the mechanic. We haven't talked to Avery Fry, who is the other pilot assigned to this base, so we may do that today. But before we get into that, and I do have some ideas of what Anselm and Hormoz are going to do on day number 2, I do need to update the list. So, first of all, I don't think we're going to update the character list here. I think you do update the suspect list. We don't have any new suspects. Again, this is kind of a closed area, except we now have Zoe Tse showing up. And no new threads because we are trying to solve this mystery. So that's our only thread at the moment. But we can change the chaos factor. And I think after last time, if you saw that episode, if not, go back and watch that. I don't think I've rolled that many random events in one episode ever. So, yeah, the chaos was pretty chaotic, for lack of a better term. So we're going to bump the chaos factor up to 7 here. That's going to go to 7. All right. So, after Hormoz and Anselm have had a night's sleep, I'm not going to say a good night's sleep, because I kind of feel like Hormoz is a little freaked out. Getting this psychic impression that he got. I don't think this is something that's happened to Hormoz a lot. I also think that Anselm, his mind is a swirl with this person has showed up, Zoe Tse. Hormoz says she's here under false pretenses. What she could be here? She related or something totally? So he's spending most of the night, his brain churning with possibilities. But they do arise the next morning. Do I want to see, every time I've rolled to see if anybody else is in the cantina, nobody's there. Should I roll? Let's roll. First thing they do is Hormoz and Anselm go to the cantina to see if anybody else is there. First of all, the question is there anybody else there? I'm going to say, first thing in the morning, it should be very likely. And with a chaos factor of 7, that should be a 90% chance or less that, yes, there is someone in the cantina. Let's see. Is this true? 42. Finally, somebody decides, I think we have a cantina, a place where I could go get some food. And they do show up. Here's my other question, and this is going to be 50-50. Is there more than one person in the cantina? So that's 75% chance or less that yes, there is more than one person. 09, yes. Ooh, 09 is an exceptional yes. That's an exceptional yes. So I'm going to say that, yeah, I'm going to say actually most of the people are there. I'm going to say, yeah, for some reason everybody has shown up at the cantina this morning. And where is my suspect list? There we go. Yeah, for some reason everybody is there, including Zoe. I think they're all there. And as Hormoz and Anselm come in, they get their space deep fried eggs. What am I trying to say? Prepackaged, brought on eggs. It's kind of how I would call them, yeah. They get a breakfast. Actually, no, I lie. The breakfast is probably pretty good. They're here for a while. They've got somebody who is not really in charge of. There's no cook, but they have somebody who's kind of gets all that together. Maybe it goes on a rotation. Not important to the story. I shouldn't spend this much time on that. But they do have breakfast there, and they're doing all that. And so everybody's there. They do greet Anselm. Anselm's like, hello, everyone. Yes, I don't think I've met all of you yet. I am Anselm. I'm from the Scout Service. I'm here with my protege, Hormoz. He's interested in joining some aspect, some branch of the Imperial Service. Several of you have been very gracious with your time. A few of you we've not had a chance to speak to, but I'm hoping that we can. And I'm going to say he goes right to... Does he want to go right to Zoe? He could go straight to Zoe and see how she's doing. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what he'll do. Yeah, I think Hormoz and Anselm get their trays, they get their breakfast, and they sit down right next to Zoe. Is Zoe sitting with anybody else? Let's find that out. I'm going to say that's 50-50, so again, a 75% chance or less that Zoe is sitting with someone. 91. No, Zoe's sitting by herself. She's all by herself. And so Hormoz and Anselm do head and approach her. Hi there, is this seat taken? May we join you? She's like, oh, yes, of course, yes, please. And they do sit down. Anselm says, well, yeah, I hope, how are you feeling? You okay? You said that you were going to be checked out. Are you doing all right? Zoe says, yeah, I think I'm okay. I think it was just a little exposure. I was out there for a while. I got dehydrated, and they say I'm going to be okay. I'm probably leaving pretty soon. And Anselm's like, well, that's good to hear. I'm very glad that you're no worse the wear for your little adventure. By the way, I should introduce you to my protege, Hormoz. He turns and he does introduce Hormoz. I feel like Hormoz breaks out in a cold sweat. I feel like Hormoz is like, hi, I'm Hormoz. Because he's seen Zoe and he knows that there's something there, that she's not being entirely truthful. So I feel like Hormoz is extremely nervous. Now, does his psychic ability manifest while he gets nervous next to Hormoz? Because we already know him being around females is enough to have his powers manifest. So let's find out. I'm going to say it's... I'm going to say that it is very unlikely, which gives us a 50-50 chance. So does Hormoz have a psychic manifestation while he talks to Zoe? Let's see. 76. No, he does not. Luckily. Phew. So Hormoz does not manifest any psychic powers, but he is extremely nervous. And Anselm will say, yeah, so how did you get, who brought you in? Was it, I know there's only 2 pilots. Was it Tara or was it Avery? Who was it? I'm just going to roll randomly to see who it was. And we only have 2 pilots, so I'm going to roll a 6-sided dice. 1 to 3, it was Avery, and 4 to 6, it was Tara. So who brought Zoe to the base? 5. That was Tara. That was Tara Jha. Now, I think originally in one of the episodes I said it might have been Avery, because Avery was not there when Hormoz and Anselm did speak to Tara. But Tara is the one who brought her in. Zoe can tell them. Yeah, I think it was Tara. I think it was the pilot Tara who brought me in. She was very nice. She's very talkative. She likes to talk a lot. And Anselm's like, yes, we've experienced that. How long do you think you're going to be here? How much longer? And does Zoe know? Again, let's roll 50-50. Or actually, 50% chance, 75% chance or less that she does know. And I rolled a 74. So, yeah, she's like, they said I should be gone mid-morning lunch at the latest. And so I was like, well, I hope everything goes well. I hope there's no outstanding issues from any scans that they've done for you. And yeah, I hope you Do well. Just remember next time, maybe tell somebody where you're going and have a beacon, a homing beacon. Yeah, I probably should. Probably just shouldn't go out by myself like that. Okay. And they do make a little small talk. They eat their breakfast and they move on. All right. So when that's done, Anselm has a few things that he wants to do. He wants to find out maybe from Gabe Copeland exactly what is Zoe's condition. Was she being truthful? He also wants to find out about the statue because Gabriel Copeland got this statue that he gave to Hayden Lamaze, and he hid it in their little rover, the thing that they used to drive around locally. So he wants to ask about that. Also wants to find out who was the last person that used the modular cutter, where they found this Psionic Institute pin. Also wants to find out, he wonders, does Director Cavalon, or has Director Cavalon received any other threatening messages since he's been here? Because that could help lead him to who might be doing this. Yeah, and he hasn't talked to Avery Fry, the other pilot. He has not talked to Kia Daroka, who is the mechanic who Lamaze blamed or said something about it when he found the statue destroyed. And he's talked to Hayden Lamaze, but we have nothing connected to him. So I also hasn't talked to David Jen, the commander. I think right now he is going to go talk to Gabriel Copeland because he is the most likely suspect of all the ones we know. Now remember, using the Mythic Mystery Matrix method, however we want to refer to this, if you get 6 clues, you are the person we're looking for. Or if when I roll on my clue table, let me find that, when I roll on the mystery descriptors table of clues and suspects, if my, wait, I lie. Wait a minute. No, I'm wrong. Let's see. There is one somewhere. Wait a minute. No! This is what I'm looking for. It's been a while. Can you tell? If I roll on the mystery elements table, and if I roll the clincher clue, then that clue that I find points directly to the person we're looking for. So, just a rather clunky overview of what we're looking for here. So we are looking for 6 clues or the clincher clue. So he's going to go talk to Gabriel Copeland to see if he can get a little more information about this statue and about Zoe Tse. So he's going to go. Now, we got to test the scene, and my assumption is that he's going to go and he's going to find Gabriel Copeland being the corpsman in whatever medical facility that they have. So is that what happens? He heads that way. Is that what happens? Our chaos factor is 7, so if I roll a 7 or lower, something changes about this expected scene. So, a 1. That is lower. And it is an odd, so that's an altered scene. Okay, an altered scene. So what is it? I'm going to say that it's altered. So he goes and he finds not only Gabriel, but does he find somebody else? Let's test that. I'm going to say that's 50-50. Which, again, with a chaos factor of 7, gives a 75% chance or less that, yeah, somebody else is there with him. 89. No, it's, maybe in that case, since it's altered, I'm going to say that Gabriel Copeland is not there. He goes looking for Gabriel, and the altered scene is that, no, Gabriel is actually not in the medical bay. Is there a note, or can he find out? Oh, would he be able to call over the base? He's only a visitor, so I don't think he has the ability to call over the base. So let's say he's going to go after Gabriel later. He's like, all right, I'll catch him. I'll catch him later. So he is going to go to... You know what? I think he is going to try to contact Director Cavalon now. That's the next thing. So he is going to go to the communications center and ask Hayden Lamaze if he can send a message or if he can actually use a message. Using the equipment to message the scout base. So that's my expected scene for this scene. Since he was not there, is Hayden Lamaze in the comm center? So again, 7 or less. 4, that is an interrupt scene. All right, so as he is going, something interrupts him. Let's find the nature of this interrupt. So we do need to roll our focus table. So what is the focus of this interrupt? 67. That is going to be close a thread. Okay, we're only doing the mystery, so I guess that would be closing a thread that we have on our bigger threads list. That's what I'm going to say right now. So we're closing a thread, and how is this thread closed? I'm going to roll on the action table. So, actually, first of all, let me do this. Let me roll on the threads table. So we have find Dad, why are the space rocks moving around Takalon, find the mind control device, why isn't there life in the ravine, and train Hormoz. That is 10 of them. So which thread are we going to close here? Which thread? Number 9. That is train Hormoz. Okay. We are closing that thread. Ooh, how do we close that thread? Interesting, because that's been a big one for Hormoz. So let's roll on the meanings table. It's going to be actions. 42, expose. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. 47, expose innocent. Expose innocent. Okay, well, the first thing that comes to mind is it's an interrupt scene. So, yeah, they're going... Okay, so here's what happens. Hormoz and Anselm are at the medical facility, the medical bay, and they can't find Gabriel Copeland. So Anselm's like, okay, I don't see him. Maybe we should check if we can get a message to Director Cavalon, see if she's received any extra messages, any other threatening messages. And Hormoz's like, yeah, that's a good idea. We should probably do that. Yeah, you're really good at this. Anselm's like, I'm just feeling my way around, just trying to figure out what's going on, because, you know, I'm trying to get in. Well, we'll talk about it later. So as they turn and as they go, I'm going to say that suddenly they are confronted by Zoe Tse, and they're confronted by David Jin, the commander. And I'm going to say what happens is Zoe and David say, excuse us just a minute there, Anselm and Hormoz. Miss Tse has brought something to my attention that I think requires immediate to be addressed immediately. Anselm's like, what is that? I don't understand. He's like, well, Miss Tse, although she did have a cover story of coming here as someone who was lost in the woods, she is actually an agent of the Imperial space, and she feels that she has found basically a psionic individual who has infiltrated our base. I'm going to say Hormoz once again breaks out into sweat. And Anselm's like, oh, that's quite an accusation. How can you be sure? How would you know? And Zoe, she says, we in the, what was it called? There's a name for this group, and I forget the name of it. So somebody, if you remember the name of the people that look for psychic people, put it down in the comments. I know there's a name, so placeholder, that's the name. She's an agent of that group. That's actually who she is. She says, we have ways to detect psychic energy, psionic activity. And last night, there was some psionic activity in your room, right at your location. So either you or this young man have psionic abilities. And if so, I need to ask you to come with me right now. Zoe's voice changed a lot when she became an agent. Anyway, so Anselm is like, look, I think we're going to need something more than just this young lady say so. Agent she may be, but I don't think you could just take me or my protege Hormoz. We were invited here. We were invited here by Director Cavalon. And David says, yes, you were, and we will have a serious discussion with the director about why the two of you are here. I do think now, with this information coming to light, it might be a little suspicious why the two of you are so interested in a naval imperial base. And it smells like, I'm just trying to find, what I told you is true, we are trying to find what Hormoz may want to do. And Hormoz is like, yeah, I'm just trying to decide what I want to do. This is the time when we may have some sort of psychic event happening with Hormoz. Let's find out. Does a psychic event happen? Let me go back to my fate chart. Oh, dear. I've got to be honest. I feel like this is... Ooh, is it likely? Now, I'm going to say 50-50. 50-50, which again is a 75% chance or less that, yeah, all of a sudden, Hormoz, in a time of great stress, is going to manifest a psychic power. So does it happen? Yes. Oh, dear. Yes, it does. So Hormoz, stressed, sweat dripping from his brow, his voice cracking, getting very nervous, suddenly, and he can feel it. I'm going to say he feels it. He's like, what? Oh, no. And he feels the energy building up around his brain. All right. Again, like I've said before, he rolls randomly to see what his psychic manifestation is. And let's find that. We're going to roll to see what power manifests. The table for the psionics is on page 115 in the Traveler book. All right, and we do have 6 talents. So, I'm going to roll a d6 and see which he gets. 5. Teleportation. That could have not have been maybe more perfect. Teleportation. All right. Yeah, he has got teleportation, and he could go personal unclothed, personal clothed, or personal with equipment. You know what? This is, again, random. It happens. Hormoz has no control over this. So let's see what happens. I'm going to say we have 3. So, yeah. We're going to break this down into 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So if I roll a 1 and 2, it's personal unclothed. Hormoz shows up naked somewhere. 3 and 4 is personal clothed, and 5 and 6 will be personal with equipment. How does this teleportation manifest itself? So somewhere there's a naked Hormoz. Oh, this you can't write this. This is the beauty of Mythic in the random tables. Okay. All right. So how far does he go? How do we determine how far this is? Let's look at the description for teleportation. Is he on the base, or is he somewhere totally different? All right. Range cost indicated by the table to be paid. All right. So let's find the range table. And I did write down, what is his... I thought I wrote down how many... Okay, his sonic strength is 6. So he has a 6 sonic strength. So I'm going to say he can't go any further than 6 would go. And matter of fact, it cost 5 points to teleport naked. So he's got that. Teleport. So close 1, 2... all right, so if he has 6 points, if it costs 5 points to teleport unclothed, that means he only has 1 related, or 1 left. So that is close. So close is in physical contact, touching. Okay, that would make sense. Or let's see. Let's see how many ranges are there. Maybe he goes to a different planet. Maybe that's why Anselm doesn't have to worry about training him anymore. This is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10. I am going to roll because again, this is random. Hormoz has no control over this. He is naked, so I'm going to roll a d10. See how far Anselm ends up. Or not Anselm, Hormoz. 5. Okay, that's pretty long. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very long. So that's at extreme range, 251 to 500 meters. All right, in the interest of full disclosure, I did have to go online and convert meters to feet and miles and things like that. So if Hormoz went the maximum range of 500 meters, that is 3/10 of a mile. Suddenly, Hormoz, as they're coming up to him, as they're saying something about him having psychic powers, and they're sort of pointing a finger at Anselm and Hormoz, suddenly Hormoz gets very nervous. He breaks out in a sweat. Suddenly he can feel it. He's like, oh no. And Hormoz disappears. His clothes fall to the ground in a pile. Anselm looks amazed. Zoe and director Jen all look around amazed. And they quickly look at Anselm. I'm going to say they draw weapons on him. I'm going to say if that's random. Let's do that as a fate or a mythic question, a fate chart question. Do they draw weapons? Ugh. We're at 7. You know what? I'm going to say this is 50-50. Hormoz just disappeared, so they may be panicky. So that 75% chance or less that they actually draw on him. Let's see. They do. Both Jen and Zoe Tse both pull out weapons. All right, stay where you are. Don't try anything. You and your psychic friend. What happened to him? Anselm puts his hand up. He goes, I don't know. I swear, I do not know. I don't know what happened. I don't have any psychic powers. I don't know anything about. I mean, I'm willing to be tested. I do not know. I'm not psychic. I don't have psionic abilities. And Zoe's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. We will find out. We will see about that. Excuse if we don't trust you. She says, Doctor, I believe we need to put this individual in the brig while we do a little investigation. Anselm's like, can you not just put me in the quarters or confine? Do you have to put me in the brig? Is David Jen going to go for that? Let's find out. Oh, dear. I'm going to say it's likely that he will. Yeah, it's likely because he's a little freaked out as well. He does. Yeah, he's like, oh, no, I think in the light of what's happened, I believe putting you in the brig is exactly where you need to be. And they do take Anselm, they take off anything that looks like a weapon. I don't think he brought anything. I think most of his weapons are back with the Raven, back with the ship, which is here on the base. They will probably go through that with a fine-tooth comb. But yes, they take him once again. Anselm gets incarcerated. They do put him in there. And he is in there for a while. Not sure exactly how long. When eventually they do come back, Zoe Tse comes back. As she says, "So, you and your little friend are not psychic, eh?" He's like, "No, I am not. I do not have any sort of... You can test me, whatever you need to do. I'm sure your agency has a way to test that. I do not have this." And Zoe Tse says, "Well, then, you won't mind explaining why you have this." And she picks up the Psionic Institute button that is in Hormoz's clothing because, again, he is naked now, and so it was left here in his robes and clothes. Oh, my goodness. And I'm going to say Anselm does go a little pale at this revelation. And you know what? I think that is all the time we have for today. I know this episode's a little bit short, but it's been so long. I know, you're right. It's been so long since I did one. I did want to get back into the rhythm of doing these. Yeah, please feel free to hold me accountable. If you haven't seen an episode in a while, if it gets to be about a month, please feel free to send me a comment, a message saying, "Hey, been a while. We'd like to see what else is happening." So yeah, please help me be accountable and try to get these out on a bit more of a regular basis. Anyway, yes, we will find out next time. Where did Hormoz go? Is the Navy base able to find Hormoz? What will happen to Anselm? Has this totally blown their chance to find out who's been sending these threatening messages? We shall find out next time. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please, if you like what you saw, please hit the like button because YouTube really likes that. And share this around because YouTube also really likes that. And you can hit the bell. That'll tell you when another episode comes up, hopefully not too long from now. All the good stuff. And of course, there's always subscribing. You can see what other chaos may happen. I think that's all I have to say. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. And I will see you next time. Just when you thought it couldn't get any more chaotic, it gets more chaotic.